So the first part of any academic essay is always going to be the introduction. Now, when it comes to the introduction, this is always going to be your first paragraph. Now, when you all start writing longer essays like 10 pages, 100 pages, your introduction might be a little bit longer, but we are not worried about that right now. So it needs to be your first paragraph. And academic paragraphs are always 5 to 7 sentences. Now, when it comes to filling up these sentences, what do we include? Well, if you watch the overview video, you know an introduction is going to have a hook, it is going to initiate expectations, and it is going to provide a thesis statement. Now, this lecture is going to cover these generally, but you are going to want to read the supplementary documents to further explain this information. Now, when it comes to your introduction, the first thing you're going to need to do is hook in your audience. This is also known as an attention grabber. You need to make your audience interested in what you're writing. Therefore, you are going to want to be thought-provoking in your hook. However, you can't just say pizza is the greatest food of all time and then talk about Hillary Clinton or something. But rather, you're going to need to be relevant with whatever you're hooking your audience in with. Now, when it comes to your hook, this is going to be your first 1 to 2 sentences of the paragraph. It doesn't come at the end. Why would you hook your audience at the end of your introduction? But rather your first 1 to 2 sentences. Now, what these hooks look like, the types of hooks that exist, read that supplementary document. It has, I think, 9 of my favorite. Now, after you have grabbed your audience's attention, they are now hooked into your essay, it is time to initiate expectations. Now, what initiating expectations mean? This is going to be the meat of your essay. In fact, it's like a sneak peek into the main ideas. Now, you don't want to be too specific, but rather general. So you're going to generally introduce the focus, the main idea, what you are discussing. In fact, a lot of times I find initiating expectations becoming background information. The stuff that your audience needs to know before they get invested in the entire essay. Kind of that, you might say, debrief ahead of time so they are aware of the information. Now, when you're initiating these expectations, this is going to be, as I said, the meat. So it's going to be anywhere from 3 to 5 sentences. It is going to take up the majority of your introduction. But as you will see on the supplementary document, it might blend in with your hook. Now, after you have hooked in your audience and given them a general idea of what it is this essay is going to be focusing on, it is time to move to your thesis statement. Now, watch the PowerPoint, move through the PowerPoint. That has anything and everything that you need to know in regards to thesis statements. But when it comes to your thesis statement, keep in mind that this is going to be your last sentence. Your thesis needs to be the last sentence in your introduction paragraph. I don't want it at the beginning or in the middle. If you have learned that way, awesome. That is not the academic essay. In MLA format, academic essay, you must have your thesis as your last sentence. If it is not there, your whole essay is thrown into craziness. So make sure your last sentence is your thesis statement. Now, when it comes to a thesis statement, some of you are probably dreading this idea, scared, concerned, don't even know what to do. My husband absolutely refuses to acknowledge that thesis statements are easy, but they are. Because when it comes to a thesis statement, all it is your opinion. I mean, a thesis statement has to be arguable. It cannot be a fact. And what's more arguable than your opinion? Take, for example, the best color in the world is yellow. Fight me. Yeah, hey, I'm sure you're probably going, well, actually, it's not. That's my opinion. That's my thesis statement. So when it comes to forming your thesis, come up with an opinion. In my opinion, English is the best subject. In my opinion, English is the worst subject. It's all your opinion. Now, when it comes to writing your introduction for academic essays, always hook in your audience, initiate what is to come in the rest of the essay because, well, what you put here, we're going to expect to see later on, and then conclude your introduction with a thesis statement. One sentence. Where's my marker? This should be one sentence, and it should be the very last sentence.